listening to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. As always, I'm Grady, and on Discord we got Josh.
Hey!
Lots to get through. We got Evolution, Saturday night's main event, Great American Bash. There was a lot of shows this weekend. Let's just kick it off with Evolution. Top to bottom, first match on the card was that Women's Intercontinental Championship triple threat. Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria.
First off, I want to say I think they should do this event every year.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of women in the talent, and with the TNA partnership, you can even include in them as well. And I think this is a wonderful thing. I think they need their own 1 or 2 hour show just for them. So I really love the concept of this pay-per-view. I love the talent that was involved in the matches. This was a great triple threat. I think they're really leaning into the whole Becky Hogan stuff. So it is going to be a question mark as to actually who does dethrone her. Whether it is Lyra, who already has another shot at her lined up, or if it's somebody else down the road.
Yeah, I guess on your first point, I agree. This should be an annual pay-per-view. I don't know the timing of it or where it's best to go, but I think pairing it with a Saturday night's main event worked well. You could do the back-to-back and keep the stories moving forward. I wouldn't want to necessarily rip the woman off of a regular pay-per-view, not a Saturday night's main event. So I think timing's got to be worked around, but the show showed, for lack of a better terminology, that they can put on a banger card. I think every match delivered, every match brought it, and everyone was performing like they wanted to prove that there should be another one. There shouldn't be 2-3 years between these events.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm Triple H, I start planning for the next one right now and figure out where we're going with it. Even if it's something like a pair it with a Clash or something, if you have to. And I mean Clash in the castle and stuff, if you have to. But absolutely, they need to do this again every year going forward. Let this be the women's WrestleMania event.
Yeah, and
without taking them off WrestleMania, obviously.
Yeah, that's what that's not monkey paw curls type stuff. No, don't take them off SummerSlam. Don't take them off of WrestleMania. That's not what we're asking for here. The match itself, I'm with you. I think Becky Lynch coming out on top has honestly probably solidified her reign a little bit longer. With Lyra Valkyria getting another shot at it, I don't see it. I think Lyra's had heaps of shots, whether it's in triple threat here or whether it's been in one-on-ones beforehand. It's who Becky took the title off of. So I can definitely see Becky holding the title through, a couple more months until somebody comes around. But I think we got to wrap the Becky Lyra story first for me to start seeing who may step up in that division, in that place. But I think Becky's going to be holding on to this championship for a little while. Next match was the NXT Women's Championship. So if we take a look at Great American Bash, they had their tag team match, Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe coming out on top, defeating Fatal Influence, rolling into the next night at Evolution. It was Jacy Jayne defending her Women's Championship against Jordynne Grace, and Blake Monroe decided to flip sides.
Multiple things that we said probably could happen last week did in fact happen this week. As we said, whatever they decided with that Great American Bash match, tag match, the opposite was going to happen the next night.
Yeah.
Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe wins on the NXT event. So at the Evolution, Jacy Jayne retains. And we also said there was a pretty strong chance of Blake Monroe turning heel. If not now, sometime within the next month or two. It was now.
Yeah, I think exactly what we said last week, right? If Blake does turn on Jordynne, then Jordynne's not going to be heading up to the main roster and she's got herself a feud for the next little wee while. I think that is the case on NXT this week, pushing that forward again. And yeah, look forward to seeing what those two can do. I think it'll be a good showcase for Blake just coming in, and Jordan can always put on a banger match with whoever she ends up being put with. And I think the knock-on of this one, with JC Jane retaining her NXT championship, she is going to go to the TNA event to take on Marsha Slamovich, TNA Knockouts champion. Winner takes all, I believe, this weekend. How much do you fancy Jane's odds?
Well, if 4 hours ago, I would have told you 5%.
I know where this is going.
But with NXT happening about an hour and a half ago or so, and Marsha Slamovich actually pinning JC Jane on NXT, I think her chances are now like 65% to retain her title and win the TNA title.
Yeah, it's funny, right? I would have been all behind Marsha until that match, as you said, today, with Marsha coming out on top. It does muddy the waters a little bit, kind of like Jordan Grace winning at a Great American Bash sort of set the scene for Evolution. I don't know. Maybe JC Jane defies all odds and comes out on top here, or maybe we do go into a non-finish and we don't end up, merging the titles onto one person. We'll have to see.
I would personally, if Marsha doesn't win the title, then I absolutely want some sort of wonky finish that results in the titles not changing hands, like a count out or something, because which has happened before in title versus title matches, especially in house show matches that were title versus title. Because there was a pretty famous one back in '87 or '88 when the Ultimate Warrior was the Intercontinental Champion and Macho Man was the World Champion. And there was multiple matches that were at house shows that were title for title, but they never changed hands because it was always ending disqualifications and countouts.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't particularly want to see Jane with both titles. I would love to see Marsha with both titles, so we'll see how that all rolls out. But we also had the Women's Tag Team Championship on the line. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez coming in as champions, going up against Flair and Bliss, Sol Ruka and Zarya and the Kabuki Warriors, and managing to come out on top still with their championships.
Yeah. The whole thing with Bliss and Flair has actually seemed to make people actually want to cheer Charlotte Flair, first off.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because the pop she got when she got the hot tag from Alexa was insane. If you would have told us, hey, 3 years ago, hey, in a pay-per-view, Charlotte Flair is going to tag with Alexa Bliss, and she's going to get the hot tag, and the crowd will be into it. And honestly, I loved the stuff Roxanne was doing in this match. She seemed to take some criticisms from a certain legend and actually put it to use. And then, obviously, every woman in this match is extremely talented. They all got the shine. And there was a surprise ending with Roxanne Perez hitting her finisher on Charlotte to win the match. So, hey.
Yeah, it definitely would not have been the finish I would have picked.
No.
Or predicted. I'm with you. I think the Bliss and Charlotte stuff, I don't know how planned it was, how accidental it was, but it's lightning. And I think we should try and capture that, because Alexa Bliss obviously been floundering since her return. There were rumors she's going to pop into the Wyatt Six. We didn't know really. Charlotte Flair was getting booed out the building. It was like the heatiest heat you could have. And then you pop them together, and as you say, everyone's cheering Charlotte. Everyone is behind this partnership. Yeah. And I don't know if it was meant to be long-term, but it should be.
Yeah, that's why I think they should win a number one contenders match or something, and be the tag team, and challenge for the tag titles at SummerSlam. I think I think that would be phenomenal. I think the two teams could put on a banger of a match, and that may be where Flair and Bliss win the titles. Maybe
Yeah.
if by some way Liv Morgan can get involved in some way to cause it. But yeah, I think that should be the next step. It should be Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez.
100%. I think that should be the SummerSlam match or whenever they want to have that championship match. And I agree. I think Flair and Bliss should take the titles and we should progress through the Judgment Day storyline on the other side. I think Raquel, there was so much story in here, right? Raquel is still learning to trust Roxanne. Roxanne is still trying to show that she's more than just the newbie coming in. Flair and Bliss we talked about there, but Zarya Spears, Sol Ruka continuing their downfall as a team and their eventual clash as well, and then the Kabuki Warriors just always showing that they can put on a good match. I liked the intermingling of the stories here, and I'm interested to see how they all move forward as well. Next up, WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton walked in as champ and walked out as champ after defeating Trish Stratus.
At least for the match, it's what we expected. We didn't expect it to go on before the next match that we'll talk about. Because we personally, at least I personally, expected the briefcase to be used on that match. It was not, because it happened first. But yeah, it was a good match. Tiffy can say that in her title reign she got to beat Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus in her title reign. So not a lot of people can say that.
Oh, it's been a pretty strong title reign in terms of the defenses when you just list out the names like that, right? I don't obviously spinning into the next match and the main event match, there'll be bits that we talk about, but I don't know how much longer the reign will go. But I've enjoyed this reign of Tiffy time at the top.
Yeah,
and you know what? I'm gonna break it up here. I'm gonna go into the entrance theme, I think, and it is Naomi's theme, because obviously things that happen later on in the card. But when we get back, we're going to talk about that journey of Naomi through the rest of the card. But for now, let's play her entrance theme.
You better watch out. Watch out.
And you're back to Wrestling Out on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh. So we had the No Holds Barred match. Jade Cargill, Naomi, with Bianca Belair as the special guest referee. We expected some sort of combination of these three, possibly a triple threat into SummerSlam, as you say, with a cash-in on Tiffy. And it comes on after Tiffy's match. Cargill comes out with the win. Now things are sort of, I guess, obscured a little. Maybe we didn't know the path forward.
Yeah. This match is exactly what we thought it was going to be, too. We figured Jade was going to win the match, which was fine because Naomi would get her moment later. We assumed for a certain title. But I think overall, I think it was a pretty good match. I think Jade still got some learning to do, but she's learning on the job. That's going to be hard. Naomi's talented and deserves the spot she's in. And it'll be interesting in seeing how things play out, because obviously Bianca Belair was the special referee. How does that play in? Obviously now Jade Cargill has her sights set on Tiffy, because Tiffy is still champion. So it would be Jade Cargill versus Tiffy at SummerSlam. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, locked in. A few of the matches over the weekend, Saturday Night's Main Event and Evolution, kind of locked in SummerSlam matches, especially for those big titles. And yeah, this was the combination, Tiffy winning, Jade Cargill winning here, and we're like, okay, we're getting Tiffy versus Jade. And then obviously with the other Women's Championship we'll get to as well, but kind of leaves Bianca Belair in a little bit of flux. I thought after this match, maybe Naomi would just cash in on a SmackDown, and maybe we would still set up the sort of clash that we expected to set up, but I want to park the Naomi cash in. I know it is a big topic when it comes to this main event, but I want to talk about the match up to that cash in, which was Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Starting off as a one-on-one, going for over 25 minutes. These two, banger.
Yeah. And everything I've seen and stuff said this was a match of the year candidate. And I
100%.
kind of have to agree. And I think ultimately part of the story is going to be that going forward for these two, that Rhea Ripley cannot beat Io Sky.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be something that is going to be played into a future match between Io and Rhea, and it's definitely seems to be graining on Mommy, because she definitely lost her mind in this. And I think Io had a fine title reign. She did disappear for a while, but she had a fine reign. And but yeah, after they went to war, it made complete and total sense the state those two women were in for Naomi to come out and cash in. There was absolutely no other reason why she shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I looked back at the stats when she won the briefcase, and it had been a while since we had somebody jump brands by cashing in, but we talked about it being a possibility, and I didn't think about it being a possibility prior to this weekend, but as you say, makes total and utter sense for her to be the new Women's World Champ.
Yeah, I mean, you have the two challengers in the middle of the ring, knocked each other senseless, and are exhausted. Why wouldn't you call cash in? It's like the WrestleMania that Seth cashed in on.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it there when you have those two guys that are top guys weakened in a state that you can take them out? So yeah, I applaud them for swerving us in a way we weren't expecting, and it making complete sense.
Yeah, 100%. And then now, this throws everything into the air, right? Because we thought we were getting Jade Naomi. Now, our two matches at SummerSlam, we're getting Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton, and we're getting Naomi, Sky, and Ripley. Almost running back the WrestleMania triple threat, but switching out Bianca for Naomi. Bianca's nowhere to be seen on that SummerSlam card as of right now.
Yeah. So that makes me think that maybe, I think maybe she's not wasn't yet cleared to wrestle, but could do the special guest refereeing, and they're hoping that maybe she can be cleared by SummerSlam so that maybe they can kick off a storyline with their new women's champion when Jade wins the title. And have like Bianca come out to like celebrate and to do all that, and then take her down and turn Bianca heel.
Yeah, I think there's a few options, right? Obviously, Bianca going after Jade, Bianca going after Naomi. There's a lot there, and I'm kind of glad that this didn't go in the direction that we'd roadmapped out, that we'd kind of expected the women's divisions to go. You know, we were pretty. Okay, Rhea Ripley's going to win, and she's going to be back on top, and this is how this one's going to go. And yeah, it was sensical, as you said, and the landscape for the women's division in SummerSlam is completely and utterly different, but I'm not mad.
No.
And then lastly, on this card, there was also an Evolution Battle Royal. Winner gets a match at Clash in Paris for the World Championship. We had Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, Ivy Nile, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Candice LeRae, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Julia, B-Fab, Meechin, Zelina Vega, Alba Fire, Lola Vice, Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, Nikki Bella, Nia Jax, runner-up Lash Legend, and winner Stephanie Vaquer.
We said last week it was impossible to predict when we didn't know who was in the match, but since Stephanie was named, we said she was probably the most likely to win it.
And then it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Good battle royal. And honestly, there is, considering that like Clash in Paris is like, it's like still a couple months away or something. It's or a few weeks away. I I could completely see her winning the title in Paris.
Yeah, it's an
Yes, that would
interesting
mean
one.
Naomi would have a short reign, but we were
Mhm.
expecting that to begin with anyway, when we thought she was going to be running into Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see it, right? Because as you say, it'll be Stephanie Vaquer versus presumably the winner of that triple threat, with the briefcase off the board now. The title jumping around on a weekly show is a lot less likely. Um, yeah, I could see them wanting to commit to Stephanie, or maybe she doesn't win at Clash, but she gets a rematch, or she continues in a feud for that title. But she's a future world title, like world champion this year, I think.
Yeah, she's got the rocket pack strapped to her back, and it's been lit.
Yeah. Well, that is Evolution. We're going to have to put our motors on to get through Saturday night's main event. NXT Great American Bash, I'm sorry, you're going to have to sit off to the side tonight. Let's just rock through SNME. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. They had a quick little match. Jelly Roll, Logan Paul were there, just pretty much setting up that SummerSlam tag team match with the celebrity involvement.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I am interested in seeing what Jelly Roll can do. I don't. Unfortunately, it does have to deal with Logan Paul, but that is what it is. I think it'll be a good match when we have it at SummerSlam.
I will cross my fingers, because as much as I hate Logan Paul, the human being, I think he's made it pretty clear that he can put on a good match. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, two of the best on the roster. And yeah, we'll see what Jelly Roll can do. At least he is training. We've heard those rumors come on through. And so I'm sure they'll be able to hide any weaknesses in a tag team match. And yeah, we'll see how all the match rolls out, but it should be good. This singles match at Saturday night was for one purpose, and it did its purpose. United States Championship was on the line. Solo Sikoa with his family taking on Jimmy Uso, still walking out champion.
Yeah. Not a lot you can say. It's just, it was a match. It was part of the Bloodline story. It's part of the next Evolution. I think it's going to take Jimmy having to reach out to brother Jay and cousin Roman, who seemed to made up this past week, and along with Jacob Fatu, and see where we go with, for Survivor Series. But yeah, it's just the next step towards the next match, the next War Games.
Yeah, I think looking at this pay-per-view as a whole, the 4 matches here all pretty much were just stepping stone matches, right? Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, stepping stone US title, Knight Rollins, as well as Gunther Goldberg, which we'll get to in the main event. They were just kind of stepping stones to get to the next piece, but I guess LA Knight, Seth Rollins, the stepping stone may have shattered underneath them while they were walking on it, because it appears as though Seth Rollins has gone off with injury in this match.
Yeah. From what I understand, they definitely changed on the fly for the outcome, which makes sense. I think it was supposed to be Seth to win the match. I also think that maybe the pay-per-view was supposed to end with him cashing in, so both briefcases would have been cashed in on the same, well, technically the same day. But obviously that's not the case. But I think maybe with the decision they made on Raw, maybe he's not as hurt as we thought maybe he was. And maybe they're just going to keep him off the road, let him heal up, and then have him come back at SummerSlam. Or but yeah, it is what it is. But so hopefully he is all right and we do continue, because it does look like we are definitely going to get another chapter with Seth Rollins' group and CM Punk.
100%. We'll see how it all shakes out, and yeah, fingers crossed for Seth Rollins' recovery and that it's not as bad as it potentially looked. We've only got a minute left. Gunther Goldberg, World Heavyweight Championship. They went 15 minutes, longer than I was giving them any right to, and it wasn't half bad.
Yeah. Now, it makes, obviously Gunther had to win. No bones about it. I think it is something to say that it was a 15-minute match, because we were expecting 3.
Yeah.
The fact that it ended with about a 3-minute window before the end of the program, probably it gives credence to our theory about maybe Seth Rollins was supposed to cash in and use that time. But it's fine. Gunther versus and what I was referencing earlier, they did a gauntlet match to determine Gunther's next opponent. CM Punk won thanks to the return of Roman Reigns, and we'll see if Gunther versus CM Punk ends with CM Punk winning, and if Seth Rollins cashes in on CM Punk.
Well, we'll see how it all rolls out. But yes, that is all we've got time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
Bye, D.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestling R&D up, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/wrestling R&D up, our YouTube page, youtube.com/wrestling RND up. And we will catch you next week.